plan to reduce investments in HR, reduced planned investments in HR in the past 6 months, and 23% are likely to do so for the remainder of the year. So I'd just like to end the short presentation with a few suggestions from our side. I think that in this challenging environment, one of the most important things that we need to do is that leadership needs to proactively plan and develop competitive strategies instead of confronting the situation based on weak planning and assume the panic mode. So I think, we all know the challenges that confront us, and, being innovative and coming up with new competitive strategies, I think lies at the center of, making it through this challenging period. Of course, there should be focus on developing strong HR systems, procedures, and practices, especially those that contribute in real time to enterprise value. We should look to deal with employee anxiety through senior management, through some clear and timely communication from senior management, and help our people, go through this period of uncertainty. And if we as managers and senior managers feel the uncertainty, I think that our people also certainly feel the same uncertainty. So, there's a role for senior management to play here in that regard. And of course, enhancing the work environment based on sense of commitment and motivation, and this is following some of the very valuable insights that Paul also provided today. So, without further ado, I think what I'll do is we'll move over to our panelists now. Thank you very much. To begin the discussion, I'd like to first of all introduce my co-panelists. Paul Kaiser, everyone has met and heard from. Mr. Jamal Mustafa, who is the Managing Director of Macro Pakistan. Ms. Uzma Bhatt, who is the Head of HR at Nestle Pakistan. Mr. Bakhtiar Khwaja, who is Head of Training and Development at Bank Al-Falah. And of course, Mr. Asir Manzur, who is the Managing Partner of AMCG. So I'd just like to start off with you, Mr. Asir Manzur. If you would like to give your views on this subject.
Well, the subject is very interesting given the times that we're going through. I have spent 26 years of my life working for various multinationals, banks, and FMCGs. Very recently, I have taken this turn to become a management consultant. And what I've come across in these two segments of business that I've been in my practical life, in these modern times that we are going through, they are modern on one hand and they're very challenging on the other, because we are going through this global financial recession and a crisis. The biggest challenge that HR has, and as I see it from my perspective as Asir Manzur, is that we as HR professionals, are we keeping our organization on the same page as the boardroom suite is, or as the MD suite or your CEO suite is? Are we really keeping the entire organization informed and keeping them on the same page? Or does the message only get diffused at the upper echelons? As I go around meeting my clients, and I have clients in energy, in communication, and in FMCG sectors, as we connect with people downstairs, and Paul Kaiser was talking about it, the engagement, people know that we are going through a crisis, but they do not know what plan do we have to meet that crisis. Now that plan somehow is just diffused up there. The second piece is HR while is doing a lot of performance management and pushing performance through, but has HR tweaked its performance, aligned it to the requirement of this very important theme, that you have to be efficient, you have to be cost efficient, and you have to be very productive. Now these KPIs, if you will, or these key result areas, if you will, or these goals do not seep through the performance culture or the performance management systems that organizations have. They are still on the systems which were in the thriving times. They don't have any systems for the surviving times. So these are the two key themes that I have noticed coming through very clearly when I move around the corridors of corporates, of businesses. The message that we have to cut costs, the message that we have to be more productive, the message that now we have to tighten our belt does not go down all the way. What goes down all the way are rumors, and rumors lend themselves to more anxiety and to turnover. And the second piece is what HR is doing to manage the theme or the expectation of the management through their system, and the most potent system is performance management. So these are two things which hit me in the eye, and I see it pervasive in corporates. Thank you so much. And we'll take questions on this as well.
Thank you, Asir. Mr. Khwaja.
Assalamu alaikum. The economic downturn has affected companies in Pakistan in a variety of ways. If your company is in the fortunate position of not having been adversely affected by the downturn, there is no better time for you to focus on developing the relation between employer and employee. Employee engagement, I think, is something that you can work on now. And I'm sure there are cost cutting, as Asir has also suggested, and saving the expenses, unnecessary expenses, and so on. There is so much you can do to engage with the employee without spending even a single rupee. There is a whole host of non-financial recognitions that all of us know about. There's no time to go into the detail. So if your company is not affected, please engage with the employee and spend more time in developing employee loyalty with the organization. The second best use of this time is to train your people. Focus more on training and development. And that is going to make your company even stronger as we come out of the recession. If your company has been affected adversely, then the first thing to do is not to panic. Panic and knee-jerk reactions will make matters even worse. The second thing, which Asir has also already hinted, is to be candid, be open with the employee. Tell them what is wrong and tell them what is going to be done by the board and by the management of the company. If we don't do this, the rumors which will circulate will get worse by the day, and the news which will be much worse than the reality. Then, if matters come to a crunch, please be very open and candid with the management. If the management's knee-jerk reaction is to start looking at job cuts, please put the whole matter in perspective. You as HR are in the best position to put the whole matter in perspective. If money can be saved by other means, please try to defend job cuts. Try to defend not cutting jobs. Because if your company has been good at